for joining us today for my latest strategy conversations. Today I'm joined by Elizabeth Humphrey. I'm talking with her about lots of really cool things. Elizabeth and I have wanted to do this for a long while. She is managing principal for the McCormick Group, which is a leading executive search firm. And Elizabeth heads up their nonprofit and association practice. So we share a passion for accelerating success for CEOs and executive directors. Working with our clients, we've seen that there's a lot of value in setting up a new CEO or a new ED for success right from the start. But unfortunately, the research tells us that it doesn't always happen consistently. In fact, it's about 1/2 to 1/3 of all CEOs and EDs fail within the first 18 months. That's huge.
It is huge, and it's expensive.
So Elizabeth and I have been talking for months, maybe years, about this stuff, about CEOs and executive directors, and we have a passion for accelerating their success. Working with our clients, we've really seen the value of setting them up right from the start for success. So right at the get-go, these guys come in and they hit the ground running. Unfortunately, the research has said that that doesn't always happen consistently. In fact, I think it's 1/2 to 1/3 of all CEOs and executive directors fail within the 18 months. At first time period. That's huge. It's almost mind-blowing. And then there are other studies that have shown that once they're in, the CEOs and executive directors feel that they're not getting enough support, that the board has had very little involvement in setting them up and in taking them forward. That transition, that whole lack of interface with the board it just sounds so expensive. What's been your experience?
Well, you're right. It is very expensive, and it's honestly not an expense that boards think about when preparing for a transition, succession, and a search. They never take those pieces into account. And as we all know, the hiring and transitioning of a new leader is the most important job that your board will ever have.
Yeah.
It is critical. And I think that understanding what success looks like and what that means to a board is really critical when it comes to making sure a seamless transition is in place.
And so how do you do that, though? Is that just success for the CEO or the ED, or is that about success? What does that look like?
Yeah, so the great question. And so it's really success for everyone. Obviously, it's success for the new leader coming in. It is absolutely success for the board. But the other critical piece that people don't think about is success for the leadership team that's in place as well, and the staff. And right now there's all kinds of conversations that go on about culture, and I think that is certainly coming more to the forefront.
Can you give me an example of when that what that looks like when it works really well, that transition?
Well, when the transition works really well, the person is still happy and in place after that 18-month period that we talk about. But a lot of the work that we do to make sure that there is a good transition really happens up front with us. Before we even start a search, we spend a lot of time up front with the stakeholders, with the board, with the staff, really creating a profile of what success looks like so that we can articulate that to the board, get buy-in, and so that we can get buy-in from our potential candidates that we'll be bringing back to the board.
So what do you tell your clients when they ask you to conduct a search then, beyond that? So what do you how do you drill down into that?
Well, honestly, we ask about what are the critical success factors. I always like to think what's going to help you sleep better at night, right? And so really finding out not necessarily what the qualifications are, but again, what does success look like? And again, it's not just for this individual, but it's for the organization as a whole.
I really like that because key success factors are a critical piece of strategy development. And so what you're really talking about is the strategy for finding the right CEO and the executive director. What's it going to take for that search to be successful? And that search being successful means what's it going to take for the organization to be successful?
Excellent. Well, I think there's all kinds of things we've hit on here. So hopefully we've got some other shows that we can do for you guys. And so we're looking forward to continuing these conversations.
Sounds great. Thanks so much. How how do our viewers get in contact with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is via LinkedIn, which is Elizabeth Humphrey, or you can certainly reach out to me on my direct line at 703-312-6743.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for joining me. It's really been fun. We hope that everyone will turn into our next strategy conversation.
Bye.
Bye.